Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is March 30th, 2025. Why do I look so small? There we go. Hello, everyone. It's March 30th, 2021, and we have some exciting news for you today, starting with that Barcelona are set to announce 3 new contract renewals. Also, Barcelona have set a price for Ferran Torres. I'll explain that a little bit more before you freak out. And finally, Atletico Madrid are set to hijack a Barcelona target. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo and I'm bringing you this short live stream to keep you up to date on all Barcelona news. I'm currently out of the country. I'm not at home. I'm not in my YouTube studio, so I cannot film, edit, and upload. So instead, I'm doing these short live streams every day just so you can get all the Barcelona news. This is not a podcast, so I won't be addressing the comment section. But nonetheless, let's get into the news because, ladies and gentlemen, La Liga have adopted the new FIFA rule, I guess, which sets up a new transfer window for this summer for clubs who are participating in the Club World Cup. Now, as you know, this summer will be the first edition of this new format of the Club World Cup that will take place in the United States, which will have, I think it's, 32 or 36 clubs from all over the world. Barcelona are not going to be participating because they did not qualify. And this Club World Cup will take place between June 15th and July 13th, just like a normal World Cup, right? A 1-month competition where it starts out with group stages, ends up with knockout stages, and then you have your world champion. And FIFA announced a new transfer market that goes between June 1st and June 10th, just a 10-day short transfer market. Why? Because since the competition goes from June 15th to July 13th, there's a lot of players whose contracts would expire on June 30th. So that means those players will be playing in a competition, and halfway through the competition, boom, they're free agents, right? So in order to address that problem, FIFA have announced a special transfer market between June 1st and June 10th for clubs participating in the Club World Cup in case you want to do any contract renewals or maybe some reinforcements for the competition. And while the news is that La Liga have decided to adopt that, it was already approved in other countries, and La Liga has joined the list of those countries approving this short transfer market for clubs participating in this summer competition. Now, more news because, ladies and gentlemen, Barcelona are set to announce 3 contract renewals. The first 2 are Robert Lewandowski and Wojciech Szczesny. As you know, Robert has an option in his contract that extends it by 1 more year until 2026 if he plays a certain amount of matches. He already met that, but nonetheless, Barcelona decided that they were going to extend it anyway until 2026, formally speaking, and that is all done. So Barcelona are set to announce the contract extension of Lewandowski until 2026, and the other one they are set to announce is Wojciech Szczesny, whose contract expires at the end of the season. Barcelona were very impressed with his performance, so they agreed to extend it by 1 more season, and that's also going to be announced. Right now, it's in its final stages. You know, the negotiations went pretty smoothly. The player wants to stay. The club want him to stay. Flick greenlit the whole operation. So now they're finalizing the final details of the contract, and they're set to announce it after announcing Lewandowski. Just a matter of seniority. You know, Lewandowski has been here longer, so they want to announce Lewandowski's renewal first. Then Wojciech Szczesny. By the way, Lewandowski, he's the one who suggested the signing of Wojciech Szczesny. And now it's been revealed that the contract extension of Lewandowski, it's what convinced Szczesny to extend his own contract. So the two kind of, go together. So, and both of them will be renewed and both of them will be announced pretty soon. Now, the third contract renewal that Barcelona are set to announce is Marc Bernal. Marc Bernal, whose contract expires in 2026. As soon as he got injured, Barcelona let him know very clearly, hey, we know you're injured. We know you're going to be out for a whole season. But nonetheless, we still believe that you are the future of this team. So we're going to renew you anyway. There have been a little bit of delays in the contract negotiations, not because there's anything wrong between the parties or disagreement. Both parties are in agreement on everything. It's just a matter of scheduling because Barcelona were trying to renew other players, like Pedri and Gabi and all these announcements, all renewals that they have announced. But nonetheless, Bernal is also on the list. So Barcelona are expected to announce the renewals of Szczesny, Lewandowski, and Marc Bernal. And after that, of course, there's also Jules Koundé and Rafinha, but that's more down the road because Koundé and Rafinha's contracts expire in 2027, where Bernal expires, obviously, 2026, and Lewy and Szczesny technically expire at the end of the season. So those are the priority, and then we'll talk about Koundé and Rafinha. Now, speaking of more contract renewals, as you know, Barcelona also want to renew Ferran Torres. His contract also expires in the summer of 2027, and given that he has become the super sub, every time he comes off the bench, he scores goals, Barcelona want to extend his contract. But that's not the news, because I had already told you that. The news is that Barcelona have set a price for Ferran Torres. Now, what do I mean by that? This doesn't mean that Barcelona want to sell him. This means that Barcelona would sell him or consider selling him if they receive an offer equivalent or north to this figure. How much are we talking about? We're talking about 50 million euros. So again, Barcelona are not putting Ferran Torres on the market. They're not considering selling him. However, if they receive an offer from other clubs that's around 50 million euros, they would consider it. And this, of course, is normal. This goes for all players except for a handful of untouchable players like Lamine Yamal, Pau Cubarsí. Those are players that no matter what kind of offer comes, whether it's 200, 500, whatever, Barcelona would not sell at all. Aside from those handful of untouchable players, the rest, Barcelona are not trying to sell them. But if they receive an offer that's a certain amount, they would have to consider it. And while they've set the price for Ferran at around 50 million euros, where if a club offers that, they would at least consider. Again, doesn't mean they would sell him, but they would at least have to consider. But of course, my question to you is, would you sell Ferran Torres for 50 million euros? Yes, no? Let me know in the comment section. Now, more news, and now we have to talk about Nico Williams, because, ladies and gentlemen, it's reported that two clubs who are really after him are now out of the race. The first one is Arsenal. Arsenal were very, very interested in signing Nico Williams, and the English media are reporting that Nico has said no to the Gunners. So it looks like they are out of contention. And the other team is Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich were also expected to offer to pay the entire release clause of Nico Williams. However, now German media are reporting that Bayern Munich are withdrawing from the race because they want to go all out for Wirtz. They want to try to convince Bayer Leverkusen to sell them Wirtz, and they're willing to go all out, offer whatever money Bayer Leverkusen want. So that, of course, means that they cannot go spend 58 million on Nico, because most likely Bayer Leverkusen are going to want some humongous amount of money for Wirtz. So Arsenal and Bayern Munich are out of the contention for Nico Williams, which, of course, this makes it a little bit easier for Barcelona in case they do try to go and pay the release clause of Nico Williams, which, of course, I want to ask you guys, do you think Barcelona should sign Nico Williams? Yes, no? Let me know down below in the comment section. And the last bit of news is in regards to Franco Mastantuono, the Argentine attacking midfielder out of River Plate, someone that Barcelona have been tracking for quite some time. Real Madrid, too, they've been tracking him for quite some time. Barcelona approached River Plate to see, what are the options to sign him. River Plate were demanding way too much money. They wanted 50 million euros for Franco Mastantuono, which Barcelona said, thanks, but no thanks. We're not going to pay 50 million euros for a little kid. Well, not a little kid, I think he's 17. For some youngster in Argentina who hasn't even proved himself. Real Madrid did the same thing. They were like, okay, thanks, bye-bye. We're not really, interested in paying that much, especially because both Barcelona and Madrid consider that Mastantuono still needs a lot of growing and developing. So they're definitely not just going to throw 50 million euros on a player who is still, hasn't proved himself. But the news is that Atletico Madrid are set to maybe sign him. It's reported that Cholo Simeone has requested from Atletico Madrid to send scouts to Argentina to watch Mastantuono, because he is very interested in signing him. And it's reported that Cholo Simeone wants to use the Julian Alvarez link to try to convince the player to go to Atletico Madrid, because Julian Alvarez is a former River Plate player. So it looks like Atletico Madrid could end up signing the youngster, because after all, Antoine Griezmann looks like he's looking to join the MLS. So I think they're considering Mastantuono kind of like a replacement for Antoine Griezmann. Now, by the way, when I did that video, when I went to Argentina, I watched the match at River Plate. I did a special video when I went to the stadium. I got to see Mastantuono play. Interesting player, definitely not worth 50 million euros. But if you haven't seen that video of me at the River Plate match, check it out on the video. Anyways, that is all for this video. I went live a few moments ago. If you haven't seen that yet, Make sure to check it out. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always, these